You are a legend.
Oh,
and I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
We all want to be like you. Has fame become like what you thought it would be?
I think it's harder. It's hard for everybody. You know, you hear so many times, you know, there's not enough Latinos on TV, there's not a representation of this and that. But in reality, it's tough for everybody. So
Yes.
you celebrate every accomplishment you get, whether it's a big one or a small one. It's still the same because this business is so difficult to survive.
Yes. And you've experienced it. Like, what would you say surprised you most about fame, if anything?
I think, you know, for me, I just think people, you know, they feel so comfortable, you know. Like they would say to me, you know, has anybody ever told you you look like an old George Lopez? And I'm like, yeah. I say, yeah.
Ah.
This is what happens when you don't die, man.
And this is a significant week for you. First of your birthday, and
Yeah.
then it was 19 years ago this week when you had your kidney transplant.
I had a kidney transplant 19 years ago, and my ex-wife Ann, you know, gave it to me, and she's into the astrology, you know. So she had to talk to her person in the stars, and they said, April 9th. The woman said April 19th, and it was like February. So I said, I'm like, I need a little better than April 19th. So we went to see my doctor, the surgeon, and he said, when do you guys want to have this done? And she said April 19th, and he said, hey, that's my birthday. I do my best work on my birthday.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been 19 years, and every year I send my surgeon flowers. He's retired.
Oh.
And every year I send my wife money, of course, and then I send the doctor flowers. So yeah, and you know, I'm happy to be alive. I mean, there's a lot of things that people miss about being alive, but I mean, the idea that to be able to give back to people and kids who have kidney disease is one thing I didn't expect. But you know, Jennifer, when I woke up like a day and 2 days after my surgery, I'd felt better than I'd felt at any point in my life. And at that point, I thought, you know, the rest of my life, I'm gonna just help other people who are sick and need help, and show them that you can come and be better.
Wow, that has to make you feel good.
Yeah, I feel great.
Okay, we have to talk about your show. Lopez versus Lopez. It's very funny and beautiful, but it hits home. It's like, tell everyone how it came about. It's very personal.
Yeah, you know, I was estranged from my daughter Maya because of the divorce and things. And, you know, when I was growing up, Jennifer, you know, I really didn't have a male. I had no father, I didn't have a father. So I had really no figure or anyone really kind of to tell me what was right and wrong. And I made a lot of mistakes, you know, as men do. And no excuse. I mean, they were all mine. But not until I started to do something that nobody in my family or anybody that I really knew ever did was accept responsibility for a person's behavior.
Right.
So I said, you know, so many times that we would just remove people from our lives forever. But then, you know, to be a father is a very special thing, but also to have a child as beautiful as any child, but to be estranged from your child, it's one of the worst things ever. So for the first time in my life, I owned up to all of my mistakes, and you know, I was lucky enough that mine took me back into her life, and you know, a little bit of the show is about
that gave me chills. Wow.
You know,
Yes.
you know, listen, I wasn't planning on making as many mistakes in my life, but I also wasn't planning on them all being part of my two shows. But I'm happy. If my dysfunction can help someone function, then I'm cool with that.
And I think it will. That's brave of you.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, I was, you know, in high school, I was just, you know, very disrespectful to my baseball coach. I loved baseball. And years after I got out of high school, I realized that, you know, all my behavior was traced to me. I always thought it was somebody else's fault, you know. So maybe 4 years after I graduated from high school in San Fernando High, I waited for all the players to go in, and he was out there collecting some equipment, and he looked at me and he hadn't seen me, you know, 5 years, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And literally I said, I'm here to apologize for the way that I treated you when I was here in high school as a student, and thank you. And literally, I'll say this honestly, like, I don't think that I could have gone a day in my life without apologizing to somebody that I was so rude to. And it was the first time, I think, in my life that I ever sincerely apologized to somebody. And, you know, it's been a learning thing ever since.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a great example, you know, and being able to take responsibility for your own actions. How has it been therapeutic to you?
Well, I think, you know, I've decided not to date anymore. I mean, I'm 60, I would be 63, so I'm out of that. That relieves a lot of the issues that I had. But now I realize the only person I need to be in love with and have her love me back is my daughter Mayan.
Oh,
so all my attention would go to her, yeah.
A great place for your energy and attention to go to.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you would go public with your private life?
I never really did. You know, I thought that, you know, nobody was watching, and I thought that, you know, it was, you know, just kind of my own thing. But also with the kidney disease is to turn my back on people. You know, I came from a place where everybody turned their back on everybody when they were in need, and I thought I had to end that. I didn't want to do that. And you know, it's funny doing the show because so much of it, and also the first show was almost like point for point things that happened to me negatively in life, and now to do the show. And to see Mayan as he's 27 years old, but in my eyes, when we're rehearsing, I'll look over at her and I'll see her as a 5-year-old Mayan and a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, and it's maybe the most beautiful thing that my eyes have ever seen.
Wow. Is
to see your child at different ages, but yet know that she's a strong woman and independent on her own.
Yes, and you're making such a great example
Yeah.
for her and to her because of her. That's amazing. Okay, so before you go, talk to us about your new children's book. Tell everyone what it's about.
Well, you know, I used to, like any kids, you know, I used to go on top of the roof of my house, and I would look at the moon, and I would think about, you know, who the people that I was going to know in the future, and where the people that I would be working with, or friends I would have. And it became a big thing for me, but also coming from a place that wasn't nuclear, you know, no mom and dad, raised by grandparents. So we created these books for kids books that show you that no matter where you come from, and no matter what you look like, and no matter what your thoughts are, that there's a place for you. And nobody should feel like they're misplaced or don't belong somewhere. And that's really what the books are all about.
Beautiful, beautiful message. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the Jennifer Hudson Show YouTube channel. Check your local listings or visit jenniferhudsonshow.com to see when you can watch full episodes in your area. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.